Kind of like to be back.
Man, it's great to be back. Sun is shining, all that stuff, right? But UCLA, man, being from Los Angeles, there's no better place to be. And then obviously with a familiar staff, even some new guys that they brought in, man, we got things cooking, and spring ball's been great so far.
The operation, I mean, I know Chip and some of the main guys are still here, but has it changed kind of drastically?
It's changed a little bit. I'm sure you know on defense it's changed. There's been some spots shuffling around and all that stuff. But the group we have right now works tremendously together, especially in the back end, all the collaboration we got, having a secondary coach as our DC and Coach Lynn, got Coach Norwood around, Coach Burns, who's been here as an analyst for a long time, and then myself, man, we just got ideas cooking. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about those ideas that are cooking?
Yeah. You'll see a lot of stuff that's carried over from the Ravens, you know what I'm saying? That'll be good just because, you know, he's got some history there. Other thing he'll carry over is some of his own ideas, which I can't tell you what that is. You know what I'm saying? Let people do their own homework, but he's a great dude. Coach Lynn is awesome, man. And like I said, there's been collaboration because guys on the staff have done it at the highest level. Coach Norton himself has been to DC. He's won some Super Bowls and things like that. So what's great is we got the best minds in there. We got some seasoned minds, professional minds who are making our defense great.
What were you able to learn that year away at Sacramento State?
Yeah, there's definitely an appreciation for FCS football. Probably that I didn't have before, you know? Obviously, all those years that North Dakota State was winning it all, that's all I probably knew was just the headlines, right? Going there at Sac State, learning about Big Sky football, traveling to all those amazing places where the Big Sky is represented, and then, of course, playing Division I level football, right? Now you're just seeing how do you get guys in space, how do you manipulate your opponents and be able to do things to where maybe there's a talent disparity or a different gap, but you still got to win and execute.
Talk a little bit about your cornerbacks.
Yeah, the corners are great.
Yeah, give us a whole rundown on each one.
Yeah, for sure. So the corners are great in no particular order, but starting with the guys who have been here the longest, John Humphrey, Devin Kirkwood bring a wealth of experience. You know, they had on-game experience, played in a ton of big games. Jalen Davies, who played last year, especially towards the tail end of the year, pretty strong. He's been doing good, and those guys have come in ready to and eager to learn. Evan Thomas is a guy who spent time on scout team last season, but is competing well in spring ball. And again, because his years playing here at UCLA, you could even say his years going against the offense where he's starting to call out some things and just playing at a high level. Croy Stewart, who has all the speed in the world, that dude is competing and learning and definitely developing. He's taking good steps and strides. Isaiah Newcomb, who we got from offense a few years back, switched to corner. He's doing great. His advantage is that now he knows kind of some of the things that a receiver is thinking or maybe that a quarterback might be thinking, and he's using that to his advantage on defense. You know what I'm saying? And then the last guy, Jackson Harley, you know, is a walk-on for us, but he's playing well. He's taking this time. Instead of just being like, hey, I'm going to be a scout. Hey, I was a scout last year. This dude's actually coming out and competing. I'm really happy to see that.
I know we can't take much by the rotations.
Yeah.
But you seem to be rotating a lot.
Yep, definitely. Because spring is a developmental period. You know what I'm saying? Spring, we get a time to see what everybody's got. It's a fresh slate, especially as a new position coach for all these guys. And really, I'm telling them, hey, put your best tape out there. You know what I'm saying? In spring, we want to evaluate everybody. It's not like we got a season that's going to be right around the corner as if this were fall camp. In spring, really, we want to see, hey, where did you finish last year? And now how high can we get this thing before we roll into fall camp and get ready to play some games?
Defense, especially the DBs, playing with a lot of emotion, and it's getting loud. And,
yep.
Is that something that Coach Lynn brought, or is that something that's just in the culture?
It's infectious. You know, it's infectious. And I'll tell you one guy that I call out specifically is Coach Norton. This guy, Coach Norton, got more juice than me, and I thought I was the youngest coach on staff. You know what I'm saying? Coach Norton, he comes with a ton of energy. And really, as the linebackers being the heart and soul of that group, who are making all the checks, doing all the things on the defense, for them to lead by example and lead with that same energy and passion you talk about, just goes throughout the whole defense.
So you got a bachelor's and a master's in like product design?
Yes, sir.
So were you planning at one point to go into business, and then all of a sudden you got the coaching bug, and now you're a coach?
Yeah, I was actually a footwear designer for a little bit, so worked in the industry. Yep, at Adidas for a little bit. And what was cool is I worked in football, so I was doing on-field design, doing uniforms and cleats. Being so close to the game, got that bug itching again, and I had to get back to the sport that I love.
You seem pretty shy and outgoing, so I'm thinking that doesn't translate very well to recruiting.
Yeah, it doesn't.
How's recruiting been going for you?
It definitely doesn't translate well to cornerback play either, right?
Yeah,
those guys got a ton of energy, man. kind of the way they move is the way the whole team moves. You know, they're the most stylish, most flamboyant, all that stuff. But in recruiting as well, you know, you're kind of tasked with the newer generation who's got social media, who sees all these things, right? Now, I got to be able to relate to them, you know what I mean? Not to say all of our other coaches on staff don't do a great job. They do a tremendous job. But now they're getting hit from all angles, and that's what's cool about the way we tackle recruiting is, as you know, everyone has areas and all that stuff. But when now you see multiple different faces on staff and connect to multiple different personalities, that's how you win a kid.
Yeah, some of the older guys asking you how to like slide into a DM.
A little bit, but they might have their own experience. Yeah, definitely.
Have you seen? What have you felt in recruiting when it comes to UCLA's move to the Big Ten?
Yeah, it's a good move. You know, one of the advantages is that we still got a year in the Pac-12 to handle our business. You know what I'm saying? We're not skipping forward till 2024. We're talking about 2023 still, and that's our main pitch in recruiting. Like, we got a chance to win the Pac-12 championship, and ... after that.
There's a good group of receivers out there that you guys have to go up against quite a bit. What is that challenge like for some of your guys?
Great group of receivers out there. Definitely the cliche, iron sharpens iron. You know, personally, me and Coach Neuheisel get in a little battle all the time just because we were in high school together, so I get to chirp him, he gets to chirp me a little bit. But just like I said, those dudes are working really hard, and that helps accelerate our development, and hopefully we're doing the same for them.
From a mental standpoint, what's the toughest thing about coaching cornerbacks?
Yeah, is that the game is more mental. You know, everyone talks about technique, obviously, at the cornerback position, which is why it's great to have a split secondary room because you could dive in on technique. But the game is also mental out there, too. You talk about the number of pictures that guys see when they play the game. How often can you, or how fast can you recall that same information that you might have gotten a rep at or you might have seen on film?
I think I saw you out here, I guess it was like a week or so ago, where you had a helmet on.
Yep.
Whoa. Do you like getting involved and maybe even just putting the helmet back on?
Every now and then. I know it looked kind of crazy, but the biggest thing I feel like as a teacher, which is what our job is, you got to be able to reach the kid, however. So if it means I got to demonstrate in the fullest of gear and wearing a helmet and all that stuff, then I'll demonstrate to them. You know, I try not to just because they're a little bit stronger than me and I don't want to get bullied and manhandled like that. But if I can reach them that way, I'll try.
As a kid, did you spend time in NFL camps and locker rooms and all growing up?
Yeah, I did indeed. So my dad played in the NFL for about 15 years. His name's Bob Whitfield, big left tackle. I got all the size. I weigh 330 pounds just like him, obviously. But yeah, I got to spend a ton of time in NFL locker rooms, which was great and kind of started my first love for this game.
Who are some of the guys maybe you were able to meet?
Shoot, that 98 Falcons Super Bowl team, unfortunately they lost to the Broncos, but that entire team, man, they were the coolest guys. Jamal Anderson taught me how to do the Dirty Bird when I was little. You know, Chuck Smith was playing on that team, Chris Chandler at quarterback, a whole bunch of guys on that team who was legendary.
Cool.
It's awesome. Appreciate you all.